Today I want to talk about cultivating the 5 elemental forms or the 5 elemental bodies. Now, I just want to say that there are many different systems for these 5 bodies all over the world. I am using basic Western elemental magic combined with what I know about the Vedic 5 koshas, I believe they're called koshas, which are the 5 sheaths, but these are the elemental bodies. You can find more information about this in the writings and works of Cornelius Agrippa and his understanding, and as well as Periclesis in their understanding of elemental forms. So this is a sort of amalgamation of what I've taken both East and West on how to build these elemental selves. And if you want to think about it, is that while we are one person, we are also 5 different elemental beings interacting with each other. And each one supports and helps the other one grow, or can also weaken the other one depending on how we act and what we're doing. And this is why you're going to learn in this video why magicians act differently than regular people, because they understand these forces. So we'll start with the first, the earth body. That is the physical body that you have, your bones, your blood, your tissues, your hair, all of that. That is your earth body. It is built through good food, adequate rest, and learning how to nurture your individual ancestral DNA. Every body is different. Becoming a magician means that you have to figure out not only how your body works specifically, but what makes it work perfectly. Once you build your earth body and it is in a good place, you can begin to build your fire body. Now, in Vedic mysticism, this is called the prana body. Now, prana can actually be achieved through pranayama, which is a type of breathing exercise, but you can also just invoke through action, making sure you take physical actions such as exercise or walking meditations, things that move this earth body, actually begin to rub the earth body to create friction, which also creates fire. So between these two, what ends up happening is also when the earth body begins to move and create friction, parts are going on fire, but because earth also contains a lot of water, water seeps out and you develop what's called a water body. Now, this water body is sometimes called the mental body, and then this air would be the wisdom, but I just like to think of it as water, which is the consciousness. This is your emotions, your intellect. This is how you think about the world. How you emotionally connect with the world is the water body. And it can either smother this fire through being so emotional that it smothers the fire and makes the earth inert. So it actually makes you depressed and makes you feel small and waterlogged. Or you can create a perfect balance of I nourish my body, I get adequate exercise, I feel the right kinds of emotions. So if you think about it, you become like a mini ecosystem of where fire burns the things that you don't need anymore. Water nourishes, keeps raining down and nourishes back to the earth body so that it grows and has things that need to go to the fire and things that provoke more water. Now, to get things really moving is air. Now, air is what's called a wisdom body, but it's also the air elementals, and this is learning esoteric knowledge, philosophy, meditation. And that's why reading books about philosophers, reading about why you feel, how does studying the way the water moves, studying the way the fire interacts with earth, studying all of the aspects and understanding how these three work together, the water, fire, and earth, creates air. And this is where you finally get spiritual movement in the life. And now, this is when a magician gets to the point where they begin to really not only understand the esoteric knowledge and philosophy, but they are able to apply it. And this creates a whole powerful ecosystem to actually change reality of the physical body. The physical body will then undergo shifts once you get these first four done. And the reason why is because when all these four, earth, air, fire, and water, are working together, it creates ether. And ether is the spiritual force of literally spiritual gnosis of the physical reality. Now, not all of our souls actually understand the elements. In fact, our souls may have come from places where they only had earth or fire or air and water. And we have to learn how to balance all of these four and learn how to get them to work in basically in alignment with each other, in perfect balance. And when these work in perfect balance, it creates an etheric body. And in magical circles, they call it the etheric body, which fuels a greater astral body. And so when people talk about being able to astral project and remote view, what they are doing is they have gotten to a point where they can balance these four elements. An etheric body emerges. An etheric body emerges, and they are able to send it out into an astral form to go and visit someplace else physically. So really, this is the heart of elemental magic. So one, a magician must be able to know how to eat the right foods, get the adequate rest, and nurture their physical body into good stasis and health. They must also know what actions and exercises or pranayama techniques that would balance the earth, the physical body, to have the perfect, basically like hearth fire around them. Through that, there is an excretion of water, which is empathy, learning, and understanding of the known world around them. And that builds. And then through training of esoteric knowledge, philosophy, meditation, I would also say that runic practice, religious practice, would also fall into air. And as these four build, it builds a greater ether body. And ether is used in ritual or devotion to higher self. You can also build that through prayer and ritual. But when these four earth, air, fire, and water elements work together, the ether body is able to create shape forms like the astral body or any other shape forms to create spells, to create change in the physical environment. But you will not see change into the physical environment until you learn how to balance earth, air, fire, and water. So when magicians talk about manifestation, this is the process they're talking about. And unfortunately, a lot of people like to talk about manifestation, but they don't actually like to talk about the nitty-gritty of the balancing of the elemental forces within the life. So now, a lot of people, and I'm have a quick session here, but there are dangers here. And a lot of people try to push and harvest this energy to force into the etheric form through ritual and to create changes in manifestation. The problem is if it's imbalanced, you might get a one-off manifestation, but it will come as a sacrifice of the integrity of any of these bodies. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about that.